guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a Hammer film review. Once again, I'm still wearing my sunglasses as I've still got my infection, unfortunately, in my eyes. Just turn the fan off. It's rather hot tonight. It's about 30 degrees. So yeah, it's very hot. And tonight I watched Quatermass Xperiment, which is a release from Hammer. I did go through the unboxing of this. It is on my channel if you want to check that out, so I won't waste your time going through the unboxing on this video as well. But before we go any further, this is 5 discs, so we're going to have a look at the special features on disc 1. So this is the main menu of disc 1 of the Quater Experiment special features. I am not going to go through every disc with you. I'm just going to show you this disc just in case we review any others on the channel. So this disc contains the widescreen 1.661 UK theatrical version, play as 1955 premiere with Eric Winston Band Show, with 2024 commentary featuring Toby Hadoke, Andy Murray and Wayne Kinski. You've also got a 4-screen version, as filmed version, with 2024 commentary from Stephen Bissett and 2003 commentary with Val Guest and Marcus Hearn. You have The Legend of Neil Part 1, the Eric Winston Band Show, the Eric Winston Band Show trailer, the Eric Winston Band Show censor card, Monstrous, Super 8 Cut Down 1, Super 8 Cut Down 2 Mute, German titled Shock, UK censor card and setup. So that is the disc features on disc 1. So there is a number of special features that sort of relate to the 2 editions that are on there. Now, I watched the widescreen presentation with the movie in front of it first, so we'll talk about that in the story. So yeah, this has like a little mini film in front of it, which is not really a film. It's a little sort of jazz concert with Kenny Ball and other stars, which, to be honest, it was a delight to watch. It's a very early sort of film of sort of like a sort of a jazz concert filmed in Technicolor, which I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed it a lot because Kenny Ball was in it, and my dad was a big Kenny Ball fan, so it took me back to sort of reminded me of him and his sort of music. So anyway, we have like about 5 or 6 songs being performed by this sort of jazz orchestra at the beginning, and then when that ends, we then cut to our main feature, Quatermass Experiment, starring Brian Donlevy and Jack Warner. Now this is about a scientist called Quatermass, and he's been planning this trip to space in a spaceship. Now this was before space travel, so this film came out before any man walked on the moon or any sort of space travel like that, so it's very fictional at this stage. And he sends this rocket ship up. The film starts with a couple sort of like smooching around this field in England, and they are startled by what they believe to be a meteorite crashing to Earth. And we soon discover that this isn't a meteorite, it's actually the rocket ship that's been sent up by Quatermass with 3 astronauts on there. Now, this doesn't take long to draw a lot of attention from the local village. So we get all this mass people turning up and looking at this. It reminds me of a lot of Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds sort of beginning. Well, H.G. Wells, but the Jeff Wayne version, if you've seen the album cover on the marshes, it was a little bit like that. And they go to look at this spaceship, and we get all the police arriving, fire and ambulance, and then we join a car, and in this car is Quatermass with his team of scientists, and they're making their way towards the incident. Because at the moment nobody knows what this is, except this rocket ship is like 100 degrees, really hot, so no one can go close to it, and they don't want to put any water on it at the moment in case it sort of like explodes. Anyway, Quatermass and that turn up in their VR Volkswagen van, and they arrive at the scene. And also arriving at the scene is the wife of Victor. Victor is one of the astronauts, and she's there curious to see if he's going to survive it. They're trying to make radio transmissions through to the spaceship to try and get through, but they're not getting nothing whatsoever. And Quatermass is telling everyone to sort of like get everyone away, because when it's cooled down, they're going to open the door remotely. Anyway, then they sort of pick up some sort of transmission from inside the spaceship. So they believe that someone or some of them are alive still. So Quatermass orders the fire brigade to stand by the door with hoses to spray water on the door and stuff that is for them to come out. And they decide to open the door remotely. And as they do, one of our spacemen, Victor, comes out of the spaceship. Looks very startled, bewildered, withdrawn, very skinny, and looks very gaunt. So they get him in care with the ambulance, and his wife goes with him to a local central clinic, which is run again by the scientists. And Quatermass and the rest and the police go into the spaceship to have a look around for the other two survivors, but they can't see them. All they see is their spacesuits lying on the floor like they're dead, and when they move their arms, there's nothing in them. It's just like the suits on their own. So it looks like they've been disintegrated or been eaten by something. Anyway, we then join the hospital or the clinic, where we have Victor and his wife. We have a scientist there, and we have Quatermass trying to find out what's going on, because what's happening now with Victor, his skin is kind of transforming into this sort of really strange sort of way, and they go back onto the spaceship and they find this sort of jelly substance that they take for the lab for the experiments. And Victor is being very non-responsive. He's just sort of like staring and gazing into the abyss, if you like, and not being able to pay anybody any attention. So we think, because there's 1 minute when the wife walks away and we see him turn his head, and it's so creepy, and he looks at her like she's food almost, because Victor is transforming. Whatever it is that's affected the spaceship has created this monster, and that's all I'm going to tell you, because I want you to watch it for yourself and find out. So let's talk about the characters. Yeah, Quatermass himself, he plays this out a bit like a sort of film noir gangster almost. He plays it out like that. My favourite character in the film is actually the police officer. He's really cool, and he sort of like doesn't take any nonsense from Quatermass. Quatermass is a bit, I'm this, I'm that, follow me sort of thing. He reminds me of the main sort of filmmaker in the original King Kong. He's very much like that sort of character, and he's very sort of flamboyant everywhere and knows everything. But he says, but I've got them up to space and I've got them down, haven't I? But well, he got one. And he plays the role really well. Now, the character plays Victor is fantastic. Absolutely, really gaunt looking man, very scary looking and frightening. And the way he plays the role is absolutely amazing. Really cool. And we get loads of other sort of characters within the film, including a few well-known sort of British actors from way. We've got a very young Gordon Jackson later in the film as a radio control guy at a TV station. And we got some sort of like little sort of cameos from a lot of British actors and stuff throughout the film, which I loved. I thought, oh wow, that's so cool. Yeah, so the characters are fantastic. So my final verdict. It's 100% an essential watch. It's a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. It's a great sci-fi horror film. If I can compare it to any films, I would compare it to The Fly and The Thing. It's got more in mix to that than it has Frankenstein. Although there is a Frankenstein moment within the film when Victor is walking around the city of London and he comes across a young girl, and sort of that reminded me of the 1930s Frankenstein. But apart from that, it really plays out like The Fly more than anything else, with elements of The Thing thrown in there. And it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Great cast, great story, really fascinating and really sort of like gripping. It doesn't run for too long. It runs for about 80 minutes, so it's like an hour and 10 minutes. So it's not like a whole sort of like difficult to watch it, because it is a bit of a slow burn. But again, I like that because we got the story that way. Now, the transfer of this, I'm going to score a 10 out of 10. It's fantastic. It looks wonderful. If you've seen any other editions of it, you'll see what I mean. It looks really cool. It is not the best looking Blu 4K, but it's the best this film's ever looked, and it looks amazing. And the fact it comes with 5 discs with a different version of it on there, and it's got like an American version, and it's got 2 Blu-rays with the versions on it, and it's got the Blu-ray of the lost BBC episodes, because this whole film is based upon a BBC TV series, which Hammer took over and made these incredible sci-fi horror films about, and it's amazing. Quatermass Xperiment, 10 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below what you think of it. It's absolutely amazing. It's up there with War of the Worlds and all these other sort of crazy films around this sort of time. This is a 1955 film, sort of creature feature sci-fi horror, and it's really cool. And it's got some amazing effects in there, some great creature effects as the film takes on. Yes, it doesn't have any gore because it is a PG, but it does have some moments where it's a little bit unsettling and very eerie. And it does have some great sort of creature effects, which can be unsettling to quite younger viewers. So just be aware of that. But apart from that, it's an essential watch, and you must watch it. And you must watch these other horror channels. Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Man v Film, RS Design, Pizzlewell. I'm Icelord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrews, Horror House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to the lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.